Hello and welcome to the conclusion segment of Let's Play Civilization 4 Immortal University. I promised I would take you through each of these things, and so I'm going to dedicate a segment to it. First off, demographics. Look at that. I'm pretty much terrible at everything. That's spectacular. Top 5 cities, wonders. Well, where are the Arabian cities? Whoops. Alright, let's have a look at what I built. Surely I had some massive army. No, of course not. I did build 10 workers, and I had 9 cities, so eventually, I didn't need as many workers as at 1.5 per city earlier. Settled 9 cities, no wars, no cities razed. Built a grand total of 5 warriors, 3 chariots, and a couple metal guys. But, I had almost as many great people as military, so that's kind of interesting on this difficulty. Alright, moving along. Oh wait, that was just there. Yeah. Look at the victory conditions. Surprisingly, even though some culture wonders were being built, nobody was really playing for culture, at least not seriously. If the Immortal AIs are playing for culture seriously, their cities will be well over 10,000 by now. They might be significantly higher. And the last Immortal University, one of the AIs was threatening to win by early 1800s, so they would have already had a substantial amount by this point already, like closer to 25,000 than around the 5,000s. I'm gonna take a look at each of the leaders and leave it alone just for a little bit. See how I got the diplomacy necessary. This guy probably the easiest because he stayed in bureaucracy the entire game. So I got a whopping +6 from him, and like I said, you need about +8. Well, you need +8, but that's also counting the hidden modifiers in order to win. Because I'm last on this scoreboard, that actually helps me out. Anyway, really I got everything I needed from just fair trade and his favorite civic, but the fact that I didn't do anything to piss him off and I had a defensive pact helps too. Bismarck. Come on, Bismarck. Alright, we'll do it this way. Why can't I call him up? Well, that's just weird. Sometimes the game's a little weird with the pausing. Alright, here we go. Bismarck really didn't... I didn't have anything special with him. Look, it's just fair trades, open borders, years of peace. But that's just like what I was saying, that those 3 things are a net +7. But the the +2 for years supplying us with resources was the tipping point here. It was the difference between me winning or losing this particular victory condition. If I didn't get this, I would have had to slog out either an early industrial war against AIs with a slight tech lead, or just go nukes, which would be interesting. But even so, alright, yeah, I tried to select them a couple times while it paused, so it's going to show them a bunch of times. I said, stop talking! Alright, here we go. Next up is Pericles. He's actually displaying it friendly, even though you need +11 to be friendly, and I don't have +11 displaying. So I have some hidden modifiers with him. Part of that's due to our rank difference, and part of that's just because I'm guessing he has an inherent +1 anyway. Anyway, I do have a +1 for resource supply. Also another one for sharing technological discoveries, which basically just means I was giving him a lot of one-sided trades in his favor. And again, standard open borders, fair trade, and years of peace. Nothing special. Willem was also easy because his favorite civic is free religion. So there you go. +4 fair trade, +5 civics. Anything else, get him friendly. Easy. As long as he doesn't declare on you. But usually he doesn't do that. Usually. I don't know if I forget already on the display screen if she voted for me or not. I don't think she did, actually, but I didn't need her either. So, screw her, I guess. Ha! interestingly, Washington would have voted for me too if I gave him anything. So if I'm like, here, Washington, have biology, then he would be just as favorable with me as Bismarck, and there you have it. Well, Bismarck's slightly higher, but he would be +8. He doesn't have any inherent negatives with the player, so he would have voted for me too. But he was busy voting for himself and failing. So that's that. That concludes this particular Let's Play. To be honest, it went a lot faster than I was expecting, because I was expecting to have to fight in this Let's Play. You know, this was a completely blind map. I didn't know any of the leaders or anything ahead of time. Well, actually, I knew Pericles would be on the map, because when I made as you saw in the demonstration of me making this map for hosting this particular series, Immortal University, when I did the find replace to switch out who was a playable civ, Pericles was visible. But everybody else, I had no idea they'd be on this map. So, you know, I could have spawned next to Shaka again, and you know, in that case, I would have had to fight. You know, I would have probably tried to rush him, actually, so that he wouldn't be a problem and kill me later, unless he had another worst enemy, or you know, they were spaced differently. So, really, I wasn't expecting to take this approach for sure. I wasn't expecting to hold to 9 cities and just expand. But you know, this is a pretty decent place to start, actually. I saw some people saying it was a hard start, and when you look at the starting position, you're here next to an oasis. It doesn't look very promising because there's not a lot of food. All you have is that crappy plains cow. And where I settled actually didn't help my cause a whole lot in regard to that. Other than that, there was a lot of riverside to make use of the strong commerce for bureaucracy, and that did help my science rate. But usually you want more food in your capital than just a plains cow. But yeah, the surrounding land wasn't that bad. The trick on this particular map, I believe, was settling these 2 cities before Willem could either settle them first or bypass you, like I was scared that he was going to sneak a settler through, but then he turned back. If you seal off enough land, I mean, you can win. I mean, players win on deity. The deity class players, they say that as long as you get 6 to 7 good cities, you can win, and that's on deity. So, of course, they leverage a tech lead and very frequently take advantage of a tech lead in the Renaissance or early industrial era to capture enough land to actually close out the game with the win. But my point is that with a reasonable amount of effort, you can settle 9 cities. Maybe, you know, if you really wanted to pack them in tightly, even more than 9 cities, you know, with the start you have on this map, without any war at all. And a lot of it's green land, which means it's quite viable to use for teching. So actually, despite the fact that Saladin's widely regarded as one of the weaker leaders, this particular map wasn't very challenging. You had some reasonably peaceful AIs, and you had a backstabber here and there, but there was no wars. And you had decent land too, other than the capital itself. I mean, you got gems, jungle, a couple calendar happiness resources, and you know, enough seafood to get by. It was a decent start. Yeah, it's not the best, not the worst. It's definitely a reasonable map. So it was an interesting experience. My laptop, now that I've changed the settings on it, it seems to be recording a lot more smoothly and readily. So you know, I'm sure there'll be another Let's Play in the works here or there. I don't know when yet or which leader, but yeah, I might do a Monarch student game or something, and I'll probably stay on Immortal from now on because I actually have to try on Immortal, so that's good. I'm not ready for Deity yet, viewers, so I know one guy wanted to see Deity a lot. I'll get there when I get there. I'm still improving too. So that's pretty much it for now. As always, it's been fun. I will see you next time on Let's Play Civilization 4. The Me and Team signing off.